Today's writing lesson is about how to write a science experiment. So, basically, we start off, as always, with the title. But for science experiments, they normally have really long titles, but titles that really explain exactly what you're doing. So for my example, I'm going to give you the title, Experiment to show that if I offer my teacher chocolate, he will usually accept it. It's a really long title, but we often have experiment to show that, or to test that. So a nice long title. After that, we have 4 bits. The first bit is the hypothesis. Now, the hypothesis is a sentence, just a simple statement, and we're going to try and work out whether that hypothesis is correct or not, whether it's true or false. My hypothesis, or your hypothesis, might be often very, very similar to your title. My hypothesis is, if I offer my teacher chocolate, he will usually accept it. So this might be the hypothesis that you want to show. It's a sentence that can either be true or false. We don't normally use words like usually, because we normally have it much more, it either is or it isn't. Or we might put numbers in there. But for today, I'm doing this one a little bit more unusual. Okay, next, I've got my hypothesis. Next, my method. My method tells us how we're going to do the experiment. Bit by bit, these are the instructions for how to do it. So we write them out in the same way that we write instructions. That could be using the words first, next, then, or like here I've used numbers. 1, gets 10 different types of chocolate. 2, on 10 different occasions, offer it to my teacher. 3, record whether he accepted it or not. Okay. So nice, clear instructions that say exactly what you're doing. I could have made those even clearer. Next up is, well, I do my experiment and I write down my results. Your results will often include numbers. You often put it in the form of a table. I have conducted research for you into this hypothesis, and here are the results of my investigation. 10 different types of chocolate. Did he eat it? Yes. Okay, so we've got our results. A lot of hard work went into doing that. Now, my last thing of all is my conclusion. And the conclusion is very simple. The conclusion goes back to the hypothesis, and it says, we looked at these results. Based on these results, is the hypothesis correct or is it not? Is it true or is it false? Based on these results, I would say that hypothesis is definitely correct. You could even include some more information in there. So your conclusion just says whether the hypothesis was correct or not. So we've got the title and then we've got those 4 different sections. Let's just go over those again, look at them very quickly. Your title, nice and long, that says exactly what your experiment is going to do. Your hypothesis, a statement that we're going to either prove or disprove. It's either going to be true or false, correct or incorrect. Your method, the series of instructions that tells you step by step how to do the experiment, a bit like a recipe for cooking. The results, that's often a table. It tells you, you write out for each different thing you tried out the results. It could be a number, it could be a yes or no. And then the conclusion, which just says whether the hypothesis is correct or not. And that is your science experiment.